And we're back.
All right, here we go. Okay, we're gonna do this super quick. Okay, listen, people. Today we're gonna do a live episode about how we're gonna get into Captivate. The reason why we're gonna get into Captivate was why we did an episode on why we're gonna have podcast resolution, and one of our podcast resolutions was to dive deeper into Captivate and explain what we use Captivate for, why we use Captivate, and so that way you might better understand why we use it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get to that real quick. The one thing you need to know, if you have a question, make sure you put a Q colon in front of the question so that we can know that that's the question that you have, and we will answer it as soon as possible. Other than that, we're gonna get ready and start the show because we are a little bit behind time, so we gotta get caught up. Now, one last thing. I know Apple dropped brand new computers, and yes, they do work with Ecamm, and yes, you should get 16 gigs, and yes, don't ask about them in this particular stream, because this particular stream is about podcasting only. If you have a question about the brand new M2 Max, all you need to do is go to the Facebook group, and there will be a whole place for you to talk about them over there. So now let's get started with the show. Aloha!
Our team at Descript is just going to be like, no transcript for that. None. Sorry. Better luck next time. Not going to happen. That was housekeeping. Do your countdown, Doc. Let's rock this.
All right, we're gonna do this countdown. That is a little art piece I call Puerto Rican on too much Red Bull.
Well done.
Okay.
Well done.
Here we go. Let's get it twisted. All right, gang. I'm gonna count this one down in 5, 4. Aloha, Flow Riders, and welcome to the Flow. I am your community manager from Ecamm Live, Doc Rock, along with my awesome co-hosts.
Hey, I'm Katie.
What's up? Hey, I'm Katie. Today, we're going to get into Captivate and why we chose Captivate. It's a question that comes up all the time. We did a show like a show and a half ago, I think, where we talked about podcast resolutions. One of the things that we came up with is that we need to dive deeper into Captivate. I feel like I've been scratching the surface for what it can do. And there we go. We lost Katie's camera, but hopefully she'll pop back. Anyway, so yes, we want to dive a little bit deeper into Captivate and explain why we choose that particular platform. There's lots of platforms out there. I'll explain why we use that platform. Okay, so this is a trip, but the first one is simply put, why Captivate? Everyone asked the question, why Captivate? Well, I'll tell you. I was looking at starting a new show, and I had the pleasure of talking to Notorious IAG, aka Ian Anderson Gray. And he was telling me all of the cool stuff, and I was like, yeah, that sounds great. That sounds great. I am kind of, already using this legume-oriented platform, but he says, oh, you're going to love this. And not only that, the CEO, he is a hardcore Star Wars nerd like you. And I was like, done. That was it. That was the number one reason I switched. But then the reality of it is, Captivate offers something that the other platforms don't. And it's a fact that it's a growth first, right? And I know that sounds weird, but they have tools designed to help you grow your podcast. And that's kind of a very important function, right? So many people, when I go to shows, when we're, consultation sessions or talking to people at conferences, they're always asking like, oh, how do I get more people on my podcast? How do I get more, listens or views or whatever the case may be? And well, that's what Captivate does. They have tools in there that really put you in the mindset and actually help you get to that point. And so that was one of the reasons why I picked Captivate. It's super simple. So we're going to dive into that real quick, and then I'll show you some behind the scenes, and then we'll get the whole thing popping. All right. So give me a second to switch over to this. Oh, one thing to remember, if you haven't done so already, please jump over to the iTunes podcast place and leave us a review. They really do help us, and it will make a big deal. All right. So here we go. Let me answer this real quick. Sorry. Wait. Yeah, sometimes we're gonna end up chopping this part, Luis. So Katie, if you can hear me, just relaunch with either relaunch with Firefox or just restart your whole computer and then pop back in. Because Chrome can do that. Sometimes Chrome is a pain in the tuchus. The tuchus. All right. Man, that was wild. Like everything was going great. And then Luis restarted his computer. And then, yeah, whatever. We don't know what happened. It's been a funny one today. So let me wait and see. In the meantime, let me ask you some questions. Oh, Andy said, oh, well, I swear I saw Andy's comment and now I don't see it. Where'd it go? Oh, there he goes. Andy says, I was with another company and that had been in the biz for a long time, but yeah, it's not innovating. True. So, I'll cover that in a second. Let's give Katie a chance to pop in. I don't want to give Luis too much chopping and editing to do when we get to that. Let me see how she's doing on the restart. Man, this was such a great show, and then it's being goofy today. Ooh. Luis, are you getting her call back in yet?
Right now.
Okay. Anyway, people, so yes, it is important. If you are thinking about grabbing a brand new Mac, knock yourself out. Just get it. Like, it's M2. M1s have already been glorious. M1s have crushed it for the last 2 years. You're a little slow. So if you decide you want to get one, just get one. It really is nothing to ask. It just pick whichever pops your socks and call it a day. They're going to be amazeballs. Dun, dun, dun. And while we're doing this, I could have set up my stream for right after this. Oh, I can't wait to show you guys what's popping in the back over here. There she is.
I did it. I did it. I got back. I clawed my way back.
Okay. Actually, Louise, I'm going to just scratch what I said. We're going to start right now. Okay.
Go ahead.
All right, here we go. Are you recording, Kate?
I am recording. Always recording. Captivate wants to know where we got our windscreens from. Really quick. Reporterstore.com.
Yeah, reporterstore.com. I actually just ordered new ones because this one is dying. But
oh no, mine are still awesome.
It comes from the Netherlands, so yours will get there much faster than mine. Anyway, let me pop these socks. Counting it down in 5, 4. Aloha, Flow Riders. Welcome to another edition of The Flow. I am your community manager, Doc Rock, along with my awesome co-host,
Katie Fawkes.
Hey, Katie Fawkes. Hey, check it out. Okay, so a couple episodes ago, we did podcast resolutions. And one of the resolutions we came up with is we need to dive deeper into Captivate because I feel like we've been just using a small portion of what it can do, right? This is typical of most people with their phones and their apps and whatever, but I think that the platform is so dope that we should use more of what it does as a way of growing our show, and it gives us good opportunity to show our viewers why Captivate is so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just had to get that out there. So
absolutely.
One of the things that comes up is, hey, Doc, why did you guys pick Captivate? Why did you pick this, that, or the next thing? And I have to tell the true story and then the real story. So the true story is I was talking to Ian Anderson Gray, the notorious IAG, and he said, oh, you should check out this Captivate thing. Like, it's really cool, and it's done really great for growing our show. And he did a show for us about making a podcast, and he was using Captivate. And he kept saying it over and over again. It was starting to buzz in my head. And then when I was looking at it, I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. But, I have a spot and I'm cool with it. It's not really doing anything, but, it works. And then he said, oh, Mark is a hardcore Star Wars nerd like you. And I was like, done, moving,
Sold.
See you later, bye. This is not the podcast host you're looking for. And seriously, that got me sold. But as I dove in, I finally understood what Ian was trying to say about being a growth-oriented podcast host.
Yeah.
And
that absolutely
was a game changer. So go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say I've been doing a bit of testing as I've had a bunch of friends asking, about different podcast hosts and about kind of getting started into the podcasting space, which is awesome. But I was like, all right, I guess I'll test around with some of these other podcast hosts so I can at least speak with some level of authority, since I've only used Captivate up until this point. So I did. I logged in and I tried out Anchor, which many of you have been talking about because it's a free option, and the difference really is night and day. I'm not just saying this because Mark and his team are awesome and we've hung out with them at a bunch of different events. I'm saying this because I do agree with what Doc just said. When you log into and you get started with a tool like Captivate, it really covers all aspects in such a safe and friendly way. Like it shows you what you need to do for marketing. It builds this entire custom site for you that you can pass around and use as a promotion vehicle. It just makes the process really easy, but not just in getting your podcast up and running, but in all aspects of podcasting. Whereas, when I signed up with Anchor earlier today, it was just like, enter the name of your podcast, upload your graphic. And it was like, great, you're done. Upload your episode. And you're like, oh, all right. There's no, like Doug was saying, there's no growth tools. It's just a very super simplistic experience that kind of leaves you feeling as though you're sort of left out there in the wind. So I would say, definitely as someone that now has tried multiple options out there, it really is a wonderful experience to dive into Captivate, because you do feel as though you don't just have a tool supporting you. It really does feel like a teammate. Their team is incredibly responsive and just makes the process safe and friendly and easy.
Yeah, it's funny. From starting my personal show and then doing this show, it was weird when we got to Dallas and I got to meet the team. I'm like, hey, I get to meet the people I talk to in the bubble when I have
You're like, oh, yeah. You're like, oh, it's not fake names. It's actual people that we've seen. Yeah.
People in real life. So that part is cool. But this is going to sound crazy. Guys, this is such a feature that will never get talked about. So I'll say it. This is a doc feature. When you listen to tutorials on how to use any software, any platform, it helps when the tutorial's in a British accent. Pay attention more. So every time Mark comes on, he goes, okay, today I'm going to talk to you about Captivate 2.0. So it's not that bad. That was a horrible one. It doesn't sound anything like Mark.
We're sorry, Mark. We're so sorry.
It sticks in your head, right? It sticks in your head. So no, I actually had the pleasure of interviewing Mark for a show we did for Ecamm a while back. We did a master class when we were first talking about it. And you can just tell by his passion for the project and for podcasting in general. Yeah. He was coming from, I am a podcaster.
Exactly. I know what you need. Yep.
I know exactly what you need. I've been through all of this. So let's take a look and let me show you some stuff inside of the old Captivate. Let's jump.
Yeah. Woohoo.
All right. So when you first get there, right, there's links to get into Captivate inside the thing. If not, Mr. Moderator will pop them in. This is what it looks like when you first come in, right? And I swear this homepage has changed since the last time I looked at it proper, because I know it's just logged right in. But this is an idea of what the dashboard looks like. I'll go ahead and dive it in. But what's really cool is a simple host for podcast creators. And this is the part I'm talking about right here, this built-in marketing suite. That is what really makes, the day. Now, sure, all of them will show you these are the podcasts that are using it and whatever. And I'm like, those guys are cool, but is it going to help me? Not necessarily. So yeah, your favorite podcaster might be using a thing that keeps a boat from moving in the water, but that doesn't really affect you. That just makes you feel like they use it so you can use it. But how can you really make it work? I can tell you right away, the Move tool is super simple. And if you haven't started yet, the Start tool is simple. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you to do what I did. Start, if you decide to do this today, just start with whatever your new show is going to be and leave your other show in place. And within seconds, you'll figure out the difference, and then you'll hit the move button. Okay?
Yeah, it really is. It's amazing.
This is what Katie was talking about, the website. And this is what I was talking about, Growth Lab. Growth Lab is glorious. Okay, so let me pop over into this particular tab. And so when you get in, this is what it looks like, right? There's a dashboard, and the dashboard shows you your different podcasts. And right now for Ecamm, we only have one podcast. So I just click that where it says to flow. Yeah, I really don't want to make another one, Katie, so don't get any crazy.
Here are our 17 podcasts.
Okay, now here's what's amazing. It says There is 22 episodes. Actually, after we finish this, it'll be 23. But hey, we made it. We made it past Pod Fade. We punched Pod Fade right in the face. And what I really like is that you can go in here and you can see all your episodes. Now, just to let you see what publishing an episode looks like, I will actually hit this edit button real quick. And
you could actually publish, this puts you in a spot, but technically it is Tuesday. You could publish episode 23. We're ready to go. I don't know if you have that one sitting on your desktop or ready to go yet, but
you see what she's doing? She's trying to get me in trouble. Actually,
you could live publish today's episode.
I can pull it down real fast because I didn't download it yet. But let me open up Slack and I'll pull it down real quick because it is that simple.
It's that simple. But yeah, look at it. I mean, like, it's so easy. Like, it's literally plug and play. You type in the information. You like, it's all drag and drop. All very, very intuitive. I distracted Doc. I'm sorry, guys.
No, go ahead. The one thing that I normally do, which I can fix it later because this is the thing that's really, really cool about Captivate, is I normally run it through Auphonic first, just to bless the audio. But we don't have to do that for today's episode. We'll get it twisted. And I will grab a artwork from Canva while we do this at the same time. While it's uploading, I'll grab the artwork from Canva and I'll show you what it does. So basically, Katie's right. Let's go in here and let's press publish an episode. Now, one other thing, when I do this from Canva, it's really amazing. I'm sorry, when I do this from Auphonic, it's really amazing because Captivate actually links with Auphonic and the script. So you can actually publish directly from what you're doing. Oh, that's why I have to do Auphonic first, because I have to make it an MP3. Hold on, it'll be fast. Right, so
but yeah,
do this real quick.
all of these tools do really work collaboratively with each other. So once you've built a workflow and you found the tools that work best for you, setting up this system where you can automate and sync them together, it makes the entire process so much faster. It's incredible.
100%.
But I mean,
faster.
But look, see, when stock has the file, really, it is as easy as dragging and dropping it in, and then you can tweak and make any of those edits that you want to make. But what's really neat too about this tool, again, is that everything is there, but it's more than just uploading your podcast episode or even recording in the tool. It has all of these different ways to plan your episodes, to build really effective workflows, to think through the marketing, to customize your landing page. So if you're moving into podcasting or you've been here for a bit and you're just trying to get to a higher level and a more amped up level, it does make it super easy to not have to have tons of different tools. It's not like I need to have a website building tool if that's not your thing. And I need to have, all these other, I need to also have a planning doc to talk back and forth with my co-host. You can do all of that right within Captivate, which is pretty remarkable, really. And that's one of those tools that we should be leveraging a lot more and plan to this year, is using it to build out our episode calendar and, and talk through back and forth, what episodes we want to do in what order, and kind of reorganize that those notes and that conversation can happen right within Captivate. And then also, being able to leverage a few more guest tools. We talked about guests last week, which is the episode doc is madly in the background working on uploading. But yeah, a lot of that guest planning stuff as well can be built out or organized or customized right within Captivate. So it's really more than just a podcast host. It's really your podcast partner in making sure that you get the best podcast possible out there.
Right. And so that's one of the things that we've recently been talking about. And it's been letting the software be your teammates, right?
Teammates.
So, Katie is an awesome teammate, but so is Captivate. When we do this podcast, we think about it. Our team for the flow is myself, Katie, Louise, Ecamm, Speedify, Captivate, Auphonic, the script. That's the starting seven, right? We could take on anybody in a game of 7-on-7. I got goalie because my knees, but hey,
We should have like an about us page that's just like a description on you, me, and then Luis, and then like the tools
and then we got
teammates.
to add Caleb come in as a coach, because Caleb always like, I need you guys to do more social media. So
Caleb overseeing it all.
So, all right. So let me, Luis, I'm going to go ahead and pop this start production on Auphonic, and it'll make all the sense in the world, and it'll be ready in like a split second. So basically, what
We
it
just
does,
lost your screen share.
huh? Oh,
We lost your screen share.
Let me put it back.
Boop, boop.
So simple. All right. So here we are. This is where we are inside Captivate. I'm going to press go on Auphonic, and Auphonic is going to just do basically converting the file to MP3 and spit it out. But what happens is, the way I have it set up in Auphonic, it will actually automatically upload it to Captivate for me. If you don't have that pleasure, you drop your file right here, okay? If you have it, you can store things in the content library. You can also import from the script. I like the way that this is built in. We've been telling you guys the script is the answer. It's a really good transcription tool. It makes your life all together easier. Now, what's going to happen is when Auphonic is done, it's going to throw in my episode title and even add my show notes. But I would like to show something to you that you may or may not have known, but you should have right away. So let me pull this. I discovered this only recently, and you should pop this inside your browser here. This is known as the Captivate Podcast Research Tool.
All right. I don't have this. All right, hang on. I gotta take a note.
Yeah. So you can go ahead and put this in your Chrome browser. And then so what happens is, if I am at a site and I saw something that I really wanted to be able to show someone, right? So let me do a for instance, right? Let's go to Descript, IPT. And I'm going to go to Descript page real quick, and then I'm going to share this tab. So this is Descript, right? If I wanted to make sure that this ended up in our notes, all I would do is come down to, I have lots of these things. I hit this bad boy, and it's going to select the show. I'm going to say the flow, and there's the script. There's a label. If I have any notes about the script that I want to pop in, I can pop that in right here, and then send
We're
it
only
on.
seeing still the Descript page.
Yeah,
although I'm following along, but yeah.
The way screen share works, you can't see overlays, but it basically, I add a link. And so now it has added that link for Descript into my Captivate show notes. So if I go into the research tab over here on the side, you will see that there's Descript.
Yeah, look at that.
The Captivate research tool. So as you're setting up, see, people, I'm telling you, Andy said this in the chat a little bit ago. He was on another platform, and it's more or less a platform. And platforming is easy. It's not pimping. Platforming is easy. But making it so that you have the tools in order to excel, or as my grandpa used to say, the skills to pay the bills, this is where Captivate comes in. Right?
Yeah.
So imagine you're searching the web and you find something you want to talk about in your show, and all you got to do is click a little button in your Chrome extension, and your show notes is square, right? Now, you can set it up so that these automatically populate when you go to publish your episodes.
See, now that is cool. Yep.
I'm just saying, people, we are on a whole different level of fantastic as we're doing this. So it is still processing, but let me take you down the side real quick. So you have where you store your episodes, right? You use graphics over and over again. You have a place to store your content library. Ours is mostly MP3 files and things like that, but you can see where I had an advertisement that we did for Cyber Weekend, and it is properly labeled as AMIE. AMIE means something, and I think I know what it is: automated marketing something, but
insertion equalizer.
Automated marketing insertion engine. Let's go with that.
Okay, there you go.
Save us. Oh my God! I want a new one. I need a cape. Captivate, activate.
All right, here, I'm going to Google search it while you're talking, and I'm sure Captivate will answer as well. But AMIE is fantastic, and that's one of our goals for this year is to use it much better. So,
hey, AMIE is my homegirl. So I'll show you what AMIE does. Let me pick an older episode here.
audio mastering and
Monetization
integration engine. We were close. We were close.
is monetization. Make that loop. Is audio
Oh,
monetization in search engine,
huh.
aka
It
make
says
that loop.
mastering here. You need to update this page. I'll send it to you.
All right, see what I'm saying? So
Oh,
you
it
know
does.
what it is.
It says update. It says update. The title is not updated. Ignore me. I'm having a day.
Okay, so in here, like if I were to take this Launch of Business podcast, right? Actually, I need to go all the way into the sode. I don't want to create the episode. Stop that. No, stop that. I just want to edit. Where's my edit? Let me pick this button. Okay, so you can come down here to where the wave file is going to go. So Amy's going to do her thing, right? She's spinning around, and then you're going to see the wave file here. That was the episode with myself and Noble. If I had an advertisement ready on deck, I could literally just come in here and paint an ad spacement to place this ad. Like I can want the ad to go here because maybe in that section I said something dumb, right? Like replace a baked in advert, which is British for advertisement, right? But I can place this thing here. I can put the cursor wherever I want. Like you can paint in an ad. What I did, because I was being scared to break stuff, I just went add pre-roll content and add post-roll content. Now, right now, this is only going to affect episode 16 because that's the one I clicked. But you can actually have this replace pre-roll and post-roll ad for every podcast on your thing. Right now, we're sitting at 23. And trust me, painting an ad on 23 episodes would be
A
not
lot.
too hard, but I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
When you get to episode 250, you damn sure don't want to go in there and paint an ad into every episode. So when you set your flow up, if you know you got a spot for it, you can put it in and you can actually leave spaces for those slots to be. So that's where you say add a new ad slot. Like if I know that right about this time, sorry. You know, my musical Tourette just double. Anyway, Captivate says you can also type in the exact timestamp you want to insert to get super accurate start and finish. So
this is great too and this is what we used it for, but this is absolutely amazing for if you're running like a promotion, a sale, maybe you're a podcaster who does like a limited edition merch drop. So it's like the merch site is open from this date to this date. You can put that in all your episodes. So basically automatically, so that anyone who's binge listening later is still able to take advantage of that. And then when the sale's over, you can pull all those ads out and change them to something else. So it really does give you so much more capability than if you were manually, adding ads, or you were literally just, reading ads during the episode itself. Those are going to immediately become dated if you're doing anything that's promotional or time locked or, or just in general, really. I mean, it'll become dated as the content gets older. So
now, I don't want to do this right now, but like you could actually play to make sure you're getting in the right spot. And then like say this was an area that I wanted to put in. So in a way, this comes in handy if you happen to have been using, guys, all right, let me give you a pro tip. In supposition, you are, sticking in your Ecamm affiliate in the middle of your show so that you can make the money to buy the stuff that Doc tells you to buy, like that new M2, right? I'm just saying, like you can go in and drop it in all 150 episodes, Rich, without painting. Like you can just spot because you kind of know where your outro is at the end on most of your shows, or you can put it there. Or if you have people that have a show that have a time flow, you can just stop right at that particular area. So let me pop out of AMIE real quick. That was just one of the things that I absolutely love about this guy. The show notes builder comes in. You can go and build a template. I swear to you, I do it by hand, and I know I need to not do it by hand.
see, look at us. The potential is epic for us to be able to build out these templates. Because the thing is that
Go ahead.
Yeah. And the thing is that we really do want to get into a space where, as we're bringing on, more experts and we're doing deeper dives into some of these topics, it's going to become more relevant for our show notes to be more robust, right? To have those links of, people's sites, links to articles that we're talking about, links to updates. So all of that information is just so helpful when it comes to, creating SEO rich, discoverable content. So having like templates in there, especially as we bring in more guests and are doing some of these deeper dive topics, is going to be huge for us and super important for everyone in podcasting. So want us for not doing it yet, but yeah, definitely having it built out is going to be so amazing. As Obi-Wan would say, use the template. This is not just on Doc. This is my fault as well.
Okay, so I don't know why I do it in my head because I know this exists. I still just haven't fixed it. But like I said, our resolution for this go around is to make sure we use more of it, because when you get your automation down, you got your flow sort of popping, you are less likely to not do the things that you need to do in order to continue to grow, right? So again, that's part of it. So now, of course, this is one of my favorite sections, is you could come in here and you could check out these analytics, and you can see everything from like the last 28 days. We've got some downloads, like what the last 90 days look like. Over time, we almost hit 3,000. Yay, team. You can go in and see what's happening with each individual episode. Of course, January, everybody's coming back yet. So everybody's not on their podcast listening game right now. They're still recovering from dealing with the family. But in November, we had a good spike in November because everybody was like taking that road trip, getting ready to go see the family for Thanksgiving, right? So you see good spikes, but you can come in and you can see things. You can see listener behavior. I know what operating system they're coming from. Apple Podcasts is still number one. Overcast, that's me. You can see where people are listening from. Where'd that go? That's in here somewhere too. Here's our map. I remember seeing something that was like, wow, we had somebody listening to us in Colombia.
And Uganda, which is incredible. So there's people all over the place.
So you can see like all your listeners. We got Singapore, Peru, Guatemala, Bulgaria, the Dominican Republic. That's Anna. She's watching.
She's on location.
It
also lets you figure out like what your most popular episodes are too. Like, so you can really pull a lot of insights out of your analytic to be able to plan and to figure out, what's working or what's not working for you.
So you can see where your episodes are. You can set which one has got the most downloads and things like that. This is just really cool. So I love to come in here and dive into analytics and take a look. And for us, it's just about remembering where you're going. Now, we recently did a show on episode planning, and this is some of the magic about here, right? So I have this list of topics that we need to cover or cover again, right? So you can come in, and this is a good place to store your stuff. So there's a show on like having a defined space or getting started checklist. We already did this show, so I can check this when it's done, right? Or come in and add notes to each one of these individual sections. So this is dope, right? Because what happens is you come up with these ideas and then you don't put them someplace, and then you're like, what should we talk about today? And then we don't have that problem because we have a whole list of shows that we need to do, right? Or go deeper in or turn into a series type of situation, right? So that's all in here. I kind of briefly went over research links, and I'm telling you, the Chrome plugin changes everything. Like, absolutely changes everything. Now, here's the other cool thing you can do. You can come in here and you can generate these here marketing links, right? So we have this on a page. When you go to flow.ecamm.com, this is all on a page. That page actually pulls from Captivate. But if someone wants the very specific link to how to get it on Spotify, we got that. If someone wants to know the exact link to get on Amazon, we got that. And a lot of times you're just not going to know that. So I like the fact that it's stored in a very, nice place. If we have call to actions, we can do things right here, which will there's our checklist, there's our podcasting workflow. So when we write those show notes, we can drop those in super, super quick. That's all built in. Now, for you guys who are automation type people, right? We got Podchaser. It's actually, we already have that. So that's set up.
I know we need to claim our profile. It looks like we have some work to do.
I think I did it from the other account. So it's already.
I gotcha.
So we got the script, we got MailChimp, Aweather,
Mhm.
Zapier, and Squadcast. But Zapier is cool because you can set it up so that if you want certain things to happen every time an episode comes out, that would be your Zapier. It's kind of all of the marketing people use it for all myriad sorts of things. I have Zapier on a personal account. We don't really have sponsor kit set up for us, but this part is gold, right? The distribution setup, and this is what you'll do the first day you do your podcast. And I've done this as a live stream on both my channel and in the Ecamm group at some time. When you set it up, you go ahead and just send your podcast to all of these myriad places, right?
Mhm.
TuneIn is actually already approved. I don't know why it still says that. But you can go in and put it in all these places in one single hit, and then make sure you cover all the aggregators, including this Good Pods, which Katie always sends me updates. Hey, Good Pods says that we're ranked
We're
number.
killing it on Good Pods.
So that part is all in here, which I like. Now, this is the one section that I know we need to spend a lot more time on because we've been doing it by hand. But you can come in and generate yourself a guest checklist. So this includes adding the guest image, dropping in any files related to the guest, putting in their information, including their pronouns. Thank you for putting that in there, and put in all of their social media links and the whole 9 yards. So when you create this guest, when you have them on the show, it will automatically drop that guest information into your show notes.
Mhm.
So glorious. So
Yeah.
glorious.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Right?
pathetic we haven't used this yet. This is such a
Well,
good reminder for all of us. I'm taking copious notes here.
well, the first guest we had on was Jared, and like I already knew
Aubrey.
once I did it in my head.
Yeah.
Actually, oh yeah, it was Arby when we were on
Mhm.
in the
We're
field.
on the road. Yeah.
I already know all of Arby's information. So and this is
Yeah.
dumb because what if I get hit by a bus? Nobody knows. I know all the Jared's information, but the new doc after I got blasted by one of those double decker open roof London things, yeah, then they wouldn't know all this information. So you shouldn't have it in your head like that. All right,
Oh
so
my
let me show you.
goodness. And it looks like you can actually create your own guest booking page and send the link to guests. Y'all, this is
Yes,
going to make it so much easier for you to start setting up these processes. It's funny for us, we have so many of them set up in different places before we started using Captivate that now we should just move it over and have it Captivate streamline a lot of this for us, which will be great.
let's do this. Man, learn how to type, doc.
Mark.
Totally going to spell this wrong, but if I remember, it's ASQUITH. ASQUITH. If I spelled it wrong, shoot me. Then I'm going to put Mark at, it's not right. I'm going to just guess anyway. VAT.fm. And then pronouns would be Storm Trooper. I can skip the bio for right now. And then he's not in America, Detroit. He's in the UC. Where is that? What isn't that alphabetical? Oh God, Europe. There it is. Europe. You guys can't see this. Oh, there it is. GB. I'm assuming the GB means Great Britain.
It's
So
a good assumption.
I'm gonna just take London, even though that's not necessarily the right answer. And then, so where's the interview link is going to be, and that is Mr. Cam. I can't spell.
It's a good
Right?
thing this is a test because I feel like none of these links are going to work.
It's gonna work. It's gonna work, right? Okay, I don't have to do the social right now, so I can have all of this stuff ready, and then I want to assign him to an episode. We don't have that episode ready yet, but I can go ahead and create the booking. Oh, the booking. What I need to do? I need to put the date and time. Oh, we don't want to put him on this month. We're gonna put him on next month. So let's go to hey.
This could be a follow-up where Mark comes on and corrects all of the information we shared today.
I'm coming out with your date and time override. You know what? It's making me pick the day, so I'm gonna pick the day, even though that's not the right answer. And I'm gonna say,
Can you go? Oh, I think you're missing a P in his email address, but that's all right. That's
Oh, it did. All right, so
I think
just hit
so.
manage booking.
Yeah, go down. I think it. Oh no, I got to go back up to his email. Is it not there? No.
Nope. But if you click on this,
Oh, there. Okay, there you go. Mark at.
oh,
Yeah, see? I should have told you earlier.
you know I can't type, right?
I know.
If I just update the guest information, so if they send you updated information, it's like live like that. So anyway, it's all set up. So basically, he's going to get an email, a
I
random.
know. Sorry,
email.
Mark.
Sorry, Mark.
He's going to be like, what? No, reject that.
Didn't mean that. Anyway, so let me back out for a second. So that's how you add guests. But if I go to my podcast and then I click on the flow, pew, 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 pew. Why are you not letting me click this? Sometimes my computer does that. It's my mouse. I'm gonna just hit episodes. It's faster. And then, so you see, it says guest preparation is in draft. That was the episode that we uploaded. So I go ahead and hit edit, and it's gonna the file is already ready.
We're
Right?
there.
Here's
Gravy.
all the text that we normally put in, and then here's their numbers. It's episode 23, not marked.
Yep.
Well, not marked as explicit just yet. I don't have a guest, but if I wanted to, see, I would just add Mark there, and it would put Mark's information in the show notes. Right?
Beautiful.
And then so there's all of the relative information. If you have your site set up, you can add SEO information, SEO descriptions. If there was any ads that we needed to add it, I would paint those ads in right here. And then I could just go ahead and hit on the
today.
time.
Damn.
So if I hit on here, it gives me an opportunity to exclude this from the feed or set an expiration date. The couple things that I do differently that's not part of this deal is I come in here and I hit add transcript to the episode, and then you see a little window pops out, and then I don't know if Katie sent it separately.
I uploaded it to Box, but I can send it over right now.
Yeah, I don't want to grab
it. Hang on one second.
If I grab it out of Box, we might break something.
We might break something. Hey, we don't want to break anything. All right, now I got to find it. We're all in the we're all living in the moment. Episode 23, right?
Yes, episode 23, Living on the Edge.
Episode 23.
So I'm going to show you guys some other stuff that I like about this real quick. I'm going to grab a couple things that I stick into every episode while Katie is sending me that.
Coming over.
It just went to tongue. So at the top here, there's a bunch of short codes, and I like to put these in. These short codes are episode. Ooh, I did that in the wrong space. Hit unz. Unz is cool. I meant to put that at the top. At the top, I like to add in the short codes, and these are my short codes are as follows: episode title, and then I don't need that.
So that's just pulling it from the data. Yeah, that's awesome.
Metadata. So at the episode title, the podcast author, and the podcast promotion link. And then I have another one that I like to grab from the bottom. And what I did was, again, this is where your template would come in play if you weren't me. So I replaced this bottom one with the bigger one that has more info, more links in that. And it just adds the podcast author links at the bottom again. Okay, so now I can go ahead and add this transcript, and then click over here on the old Slack and hit download this. Thank goodness it's a text file because it takes all of 2 seconds to download. And then I'm going to upload a file, and then there's the SRT file. There it is. Hit add transcript. Now the transcript is added. And the only thing we need to do is go down to the bottom and say schedule the episode. So I'm going to drop it for earlier this morning, and bam. 1 second, done. So everybody's phones are going to go.
You're welcome, everyone. The episode is dropped. We've done it. Our work is over.
It's so simple. And actually, I'm making it harder than it needs to be because if I did the templates, I know if I did the templates, I'm sure I'm going to get in trouble. Yes, you can just do it. That's our sister host just for cat owners, Captivate.
Okay, we may have to start our own Captivate podcast, and we can see how long it takes for the Captivate team to be annoyed with us.
That's the Paul Duncan maneuver right there. Yeah. Paul has the cat. So one thing that Captivate is informing us is that the short, and this is what I like, why I use the short codes. So I didn't explain it well, so thank you for reminding me to explain it better. The reason why I use these short codes is because they are dynamic. If you make changes, you can change one thing and it will automatically update all of the shows
Yeah.
wherever that dynamic link is coming from. So all of this
Yeah.
stuff, I'm telling you guys, I can't explain it to you more why this is so good, but it's so good.
Well,
And there's a lot more to get into, but
yeah.
here's
Well,
one of
the
go
great
ahead.
thing
Sorry.
too about it is that so here we are showing you that we just started, which has been our anthem for this entire podcast is just start. And now here we are 24 episodes in, and we can easily plan a couple of hours as a team and do like a Captivate deep dive and make all of these updates. And then we're doing even better. Like there's nothing stopping you from just starting and then making tweaks and improvements to your process as you go. And tools like Captivate make it incredibly easy to be able to say, oh, actually, like I want to go now in and build out like a better guest process. I want to go in now and take advantage of AMIE and start rolling out ads. Or I want to go in now and, create better or new templates and, improve the process and streamline things. It's okay to start or to make those changes at any point and improve your process. And, you want to be able to have tools that will let you do that. There's nothing worse than a tool that is like, nope, you said that this was how it's going to be. So now you locked in. Don't ever say yes to tools like that. You should always be able to, be updating and iterating and improving your process and your experience.
Correct. Now, one other thing that I want to make sure that we cover, and one of the best features to me as well that doesn't get really talked about a lot, I don't think, is they have unlimited team members. And on some of the other platforms, they charge you in order to have team members to help you do your
Proceed.
show.
Yeah.
If you want your show to be successful, you're going to want to add some team members, right? They can help you, right? So Caleb or Katie or that guy Doc or Ecamm Network.
We need to add Luis in here. Look at this. We're missing.
Then you can come in and
Yeah.
they can view, manage access. I can decide what it is that we're leaving Caleb responsible for. So Caleb, being part of the marketing team can come in and add ads, insert ads. I think that sounds better. Change the website, whatever kind of updates they would want to make. They have full permission to come in here and do that. And again, a lot of the other platforms, they charge you as a way of having extra team members. It is really helpful. And yes, I get it. Team members are awesome for using templates.
It's like, come on, team. No, but you're right.
Luis,
Like,
don't put that comment on the stream. Dang it.
though that is a really good point. Like, so much of what makes a tool like Captivate so special is that we are able to collaborate and have, a team and a community behind making that podcast successful. And that's who we are as a company at Ecamm, and that's who we are as people, is this idea of working together collaboratively and as a team. So being able to share notes and ideas, everyone can log in separately. Someone could be working on the transcript, someone could be working on the templates. It allows you that functionality to not feel alone and to be able to grow and build your team and grow and build your podcast.
Okay, don't show Katie this part. But you can come in and you could create a podcast network.
We are the Ecamm network, just saying.
If we were going to have like the moderator podcast, right? Or we was going to throw like if Uninfluenced decided to turn ENN into a full podcast as opposed to just a live show, I would just go in here and change this. I would go in here and fill this out. I would add the Ecamm logo, put in Ecamm Network, which we already have, put in the summary, and be like, this is a podcast about creators, right? And so we would be able to add the ENN show as part of the deal, right? Or we were going to like suck in the social media news network show with Grace and El Jefe. We could pull them in, right? Or Ian Anderson Gray with the notorious IAG. We could add that show here. Again, a lot of the other platforms, they will charge you for doing network. So let me pop out real quick and switch to this tab. And I don't know if I can find it from here, but there's something I believe that goes in and gives you the breakdown. One of the first things I noticed when I was in here and I'm looking at these breakdowns, there is not a lot of, well, you can't spend $99 a month, so you don't get this feature. Or you can't spend $50 a month, so you don't get this features. Notice the green check boxes go pretty much across the table, pretty much all the way down this bad boy. The only thing that's going to be any different is
the
if you have
number of things.
a private podcast, which again, some of the other options charge you to have a private podcast. Captivate gives you a private podcast right out the gates. So if you're trying to start your Only Paul's network, you could do a private podcast on Captivate. You know what I'm saying? We do not want to see Duncan swinging around anything. But yeah, you see this? Use your own domain name, no extra cost. Some of the other places, they charge you extra. You can only use the domain name if you have a higher plan because they're trying to use you to help them advertise. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I love the fact that the green check boxes basically go all the way down. Yes, there are some delineation, but for the most part, you get everything in here. So if you're building a network and you went with the business plan at the end, this part is cool. You can host your clients' podcast. So anybody that's running a marketing agency and you want to get all your clients on podcasting, yeah, you would pick the Business Pro account. But other than that, that's like one of like 3 features that are missing from this whole feature list that delineates you from whether, you are a fledgling, rookie rebel soldier to full ass Jedi. Right? So we make it all the way
We
up
should
here.
rename these plans. It should be Stormtrooper.
Padawan. And you're mixing factions over here, lady.
No, I'm on the dark side. I'm not mixing.
Yeah, I'm dark side all day.
The top one is going to be Darth Vader. It's going to be Stormtrooper.
This is Sith Lord, right?
Sith Lord. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
There you go. You have a Darth. And then over here, you would have, a Stormtrooper. So, yeah.
Emperor. Yeah, there we go.
Very, very good. Very good. So, I'm
We
telling
did
you,
it.
we did it. I think that, you can't go wrong to do Captivate. I'm just saying. You can 2-up us, Luis. It's to me, it's been. Okay, here's how I did it. You know what I find now that I work here, actually even before I work here, but more so now that I work here, I found I look for companies that behave and act like we do. I look for the Ken and Glenn's of the world, right?
Yep.
Mark definitely vibrates on the same energy as Ken and Glenn. It's not done. I need to fix it. Podcasting has changed. I will change right along with it. New updates in the podcasting space, we already update Captivate to match that. Like they stay on top of what's happening, and we didn't dive even into Growth Lab. Like Growth Lab, I think we need to bring one of them on so they can speak on it from a whole different level. But like every time there's an update in the podcasting space, Captivate is on it, like super on it. And if you want to know more, Mark has excellent streams on YouTube, and they're all come with the British accent.
They're much more interesting than we with our North American accents.
And I just had to make sure that before we end the show, I need to throw this out there. Manchester is red. I'm just saying. Glory, glory. I can't tell you how excited I was at 2 a.m. on Saturday morning. I'm screaming in my house. Karen and Emma are asleep. I'm making all kind of noise. Yeah, it was super funny. But yeah, guys, seriously, Captivate is the best. It's why we use it. And I try to recommend products that I use. And when people say, oh, why should you, why should you use Captivate? I'm like, man, it's going to take me an hour to explain it to you, but this is one where I'm going to just hit you with a trust me. And you will see the minute you log in. And I think you had that experience this week, Katie.
I know. And I'm glad I did it because I'm like, oh, I have some friends who money is an issue as they're getting up and running and they want to do a podcast for fun. So let's take a look at some free options. And immediately I was like, oh, I'll just pay for them to do it. We don't need to be bothered with this. It really is a huge difference in just the feeling of confidence and, saving you time and feeling as though you have a tool that has your back. I mean, there are a lot of, we did an entire checklist episode. There are a lot of things that you need to be thinking about when you're getting up and running with a podcast, or even when you're trying to grow your podcast and, worrying whether or not your podcast, tool, your sidekick to helping you create it has all the features you need shouldn't be something that you have to go through in the middle of everything else that you have to set up. So, yeah, really, a huge thanks to our friends at Captivate. They've been super fun to hang out with at all the events we went to last year, and their product stands for itself. It does a really fantastic job. So whether or not you believe us, the second you try and compare the different tools, you will immediately see.
Thank you. You will just know. I definitely want to reiterate the fact that, I mean, yeah, okay, the $17 or whatever I was showing you, that is based off of paying the annual. I think it's like 19 if you don't do it that way. I don't remember. But I mean, in grand scheme of things, for what you get,
Yeah.
it's worth it. The free
Yeah.
platforms just can't come close. And I get that it's free. And people always say, oh, well, you shouldn't, until you know you're going to make money, you shouldn't spend money, just use one of the free platforms. It takes on average 3 to 5 years to make money with a podcast. So you're just going to use the Rudy Poo, like, whacked out thing over the cost of 2.5 Starbucks? Nah, player. No.
Well, your time, you need to also be evaluating your time too. So even if you're doing it for fun, your time still matters. And at some point, that's fine. You want to start free and just play around and see how it goes. But that's why there's a move my podcast over to Captivate button, because you will hit that point where you're like, okay, just kidding. I need to do this now.
Oh, goodness. Michelle Lawrence would say that part. Yes. The time, to me, it's all about time, especially when you become a creator of a certain vintage. Like, if you remember the original Star Wars back in 77, you ain't got time to be wasting on dumb stuff. So I'm just saying, you just come out here, cut your work in half. And there's something about clicking on this bubble, and then there's a message from Ben every time I pop in here. See, it was Ben from an hour ago. He left me a message in here. So,
See, there
yes,
you go.
just people, do your thing. Get your Captivate on, captivate.fm. I don't even know if we have an affiliate link, but it doesn't matter. I have one.
I don't think we do. Or yeah, I don't, but there you go. That's how much I want you to be successful. I don't make anything off of this. It just works. Do what works and be successful and feel good about your podcast and what you're putting out there.
Yeah, and then so now, since everybody in the chat, go ahead and say thank you to Captivate and tell them that Mark needs to wake up at Hawaii time and come and let's talk about the Growth Lab, because that'll be super interesting for you guys. And we'll see you next week here on The Flow. Don't forget, please jump over on the Apple Podcast and leave us a review if you like the show. Or the best way you can help any podcast, honestly, is share it with your friends. Tell them, like, man, I know you're about to start this podcast, but you should listen to these two. That lady is really smart. The guy's kind of weird, but hey, it's good. And that's the best thing you can do. Of course, you can always leave us your questions or feedback or little video clips. You can drop them over on our Volley. And what else we got? You can send us an email at flow@ecamm.com. There you go. That's it. That's it. We did it.
That's it. We did it. And I mean, as usual, huge thanks to our friends at Speedify who keep the internet going for when things go really wonky and weird. But this episode is a little bit more about Captivate. We should put their logo at the end as well. But huge thanks to all of the tools who basically are teammates for us and help us get this podcast out no matter what.
It's so good. It's good. Lord, guys, we will see you next week here on The Flow.
Bye, everyone.